So today we're doing something a little different. Instead of just reviewing the movie Lost in Love, we're going to deconstruct it. We're going to treat it like a masterclass in a classic storytelling formula, the stranded romance. And by the end of this, you'll see exactly how these kinds of stories are engineered to make us fall in love right alongside the characters.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start by meeting our main characters, and then we're going to map their entire journey onto that classic three-act structure. We'll look at what throws them together, the challenges that bond them, and of course, that final choice that defines everything. Then, at the very end, we'll boil it all down into a simple playbook that you'll be able to spot everywhere.
All right, first up, an unexpected detour. You know, every story like this kicks off with its key players. So let's meet the two travelers whose worlds are about to completely collide, whether they like it or not. On one side, you've got Jeb Allen. He's a data guy at a conference who's just found out his job is in serious jeopardy. His only goal? Get home and fix things. Fast. And on the other side, we have Hope. She's a veterinarian on this really personal pilgrimage, following a trail of letters her late mother left for her. So right off the bat, you've got these completely opposite motivations. Jeb is literally running from a crisis, while Hope is running towards a resolution.
And that brings us to Act 1, the catalyst. This is where the story really ignites. It's that moment when a bunch of small disasters all pile up to create one giant, inescapable problem. It's what officially strands our heroes and kicks the whole thing into high gear.
What's so clever in these stories is that it's almost never one single big event, like a plane crash. Instead, what the writers do is hit our characters with this rapid-fire sequence of smaller, way more relatable problems that just keep escalating and building on each other. And you can see that perfect domino effect right here. It all starts with something so simple, a spilled drink. That leads to this frantic, botched attempt to leave the tour early after Jeb gets that bad news about his job. And in all that chaos, they miss the bus. And then, the gut punch. They realize everything they own. Passports, wallets, phones, it's all on that bus. They are literally stripped of their resources and even their identities. And that one line from Jeb, it just says it all. The most important point is established right there. They are completely cut off from their normal lives, and for better or for worse, they are now utterly dependent on each other, just to survive. So this leads us right into Act 2, which is really the heart of the story. This is where being forced to be together starts to transform their initial, let's call it annoyance with each other, into this unexpected, powerful alliance. Their journey isn't just about getting from point A to point B. You can actually track their emotional progress. They start with pure survival, bartering a watch just to get a roof over their heads. Then they hit rock bottom when Jeb's wallet gets stolen. But then they start working together, literally cleaning a bathhouse for cash. And that's where you see the shift, right? It leads to these small moments of genuine care, like Jeb making sure Hope gets to try the Turkish delight her mother wrote about. This is where we can really see Jeb's internal transformation. He starts out so self-absorbed, it's all about my job, my flight, my problems. But as they face these things together, his focus completely shifts from my to our. Suddenly, he's worried about their safety, about helping Hope finish her journey, and ultimately, about the connection they're building. In Hope's letters, they're really the emotional anchor for this whole change. They're not just a plot device to get them from one place to the next. When Jeb actually stops and listens, really listens to Hope read this line, he's forced to engage with a world of feeling and history that is totally outside his own little crisis. Now, this number might seem small, but believe me, it represents a huge turning point. This is the first money they've earned together. This is the moment they stop being passive victims of their circumstances and start becoming active partners in solving their own problems. It's a symbol of their brand new alliance. And all that brings us to Act 3, the final choice. Just when it seems like their ordeal is over and they've gotten all their stuff back, the outside world rushes back in, forcing them to face their most difficult decision yet. And there it is, the central conflict of the entire story, boiled down to a single question. With his passport in hand and a plan to save his job, Jeb has to choose. Does he go back to the life he was so desperate to get back to, or does he stick with the new life he's just discovered with Hope?
Oh, this is a truly heartbreaking moment. He initially makes the pragmatic, logical choice, he dismisses her journey, and by extension, their whole connection as a luxury he just can't afford. He chooses his career, and he walks away, and it feels like he's sacrificing everything they've built. This, right here, is the classic story climax. And notice, it's not some big explosion or a physical fight. It's an emotional turning point where the main character's true values are put to the ultimate test. And they're revealed by his actions. Does he get on that plane or does he stay? And here's the resolution. In the end, he completely reverses his decision. He shows up right where Hope is reading her final letter, and he delivers this line, proving that this journey has fundamentally changed him. He finally realizes what he truly values isn't his old life at all, but the connection he found only after he lost everything else. So now that we've walked through the entire story, beat by beat, let's zoom out and look at the architecture of the whole thing. It's time to lay out the essential recipe for this entire genre, the stranded romance. Here they are, the 5 key ingredients. You start with 2 total opposites. Then you trap them together somewhere they don't know. You strip away all their resources to make them depend on each other. You throw shared challenges at them to force vulnerability and trust. And finally, you give one of them that ultimate choice, the old life or the new connection. Now, the big takeaway here is seeing how all these pieces work together, step by step, to build an emotional journey that feels believable and totally compelling. And this really shows you the power of understanding story structure. Once you see this framework, this playbook, I promise you'll start spotting it everywhere, from huge blockbuster movies to quiet little indie dramas. It's a tool that can honestly transform the way you appreciate stories. So the next time you're watching a movie, just ask yourself, hey, are they following the recipe?